Hey, Shalom, Shalom, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Bahashim Rakal Kodash. Double honors, of course, to the apostles of Great Millstone, taught me this truth. All right, this is Naaman with the DC camp. And this is one of these articles where, you chuckle at first, but then you realize, as usual, Jake just don't get it. They're trying to reasoning them within themselves that they can overcome these curses, and it's just not going to happen. And this is, of course, from USA Today. It says, quote unquote, "I'm leaving and I'm just not coming back. Fed up with racism, black Americans head overseas." All right, you're under the curses, don't matter where you run to. All right, until what? You return to your power, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah. All right. It says Anthony Baguette knew the precise moment he had to get out. He was driving by a convenience store in Cincinnati when a police officer pulled him over. There had been a robbery. He fit the description. There you go. Given by the store's clerk, a quote-unquote black man. Okanini, I can't say that middle name, Cambone knew. He was arrested in Chicago and accused by police of concealing a loaded gun under a seat in his car. He did have a gun, but it was not loaded. He used it in his role teaching at an outdoor skills camp for inner city kids. Cambone also had a license. The gun was kept safely in the car's trunk. Tiffany Drayton knew. Her family kept getting priced out of gentrifying neighborhoods in New Jersey. She felt they were destined to be forever displaced in the USA. Then Trayvon Martin was shot and killed after buying a bag of Skittles and a can of iced tea. Baguette lives in Germany, Drayton in Trinidad and Tobago, Cambone and Ghana. All three are part of a small cultural cohort. Black immigrants who, feeling cornered and powerless in the face of persistent racism, police brutality, and economic struggles in the USA, have chosen to settle and pursue their American-born dreams abroad. They just had to throw that in there. American-born dreams. All right? And it says no official statistics cover these international transplants. All right? And they probably will never be because they don't care. It says in Ghana, where Cambone is involved in a program that encourages descendants, here we go with this, of the African diaspora. No, it's the Hebrew, Israelite diaspora, to return to a nation where centuries earlier their ancestors were forced onto slave ships. He says he is one of several thousand. Cambone rejects descriptions such as Black American or African American that identify him with the USA. And here she is here. She's down in Trinidad. All right. All right. You're not there yet. Not paradise yet. All right. It says in Trinidad and Tobago, where Drayton now works in her home office with a view of the ocean and hummingbirds frolicking above the pool, there are at least 4. Drayton, her mother, sister, and her sister's boyfriend. There are likely more. About 120,000 Americans live in Germany, which is home to an estimated 1 million people of, here we go with this again, African descent. Okay, we all know better at this point. But because of historical reasons, Germany's census does not use race as a category. It is not possible to calculate how many hail from the USA. Wait a minute, you run to Germany. There's a lot of institutional racism in Germany. There's a lot of institutional racism in Germany, said Baguette, 68. No shit. Who has lived in Berlin for more than 30 years. Years later, Baguette feels conflicted about his move. Now listen to this. He described the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 as a time when neo-Nazis and skinheads would throw black people off of the S-Bahn, the city's subway system. But I still felt and feel better off here, safer, he said. Now that's messed up. That's messed up when you think of the history of Germany. And I'm not talking about necessarily that Holocaust crap or Holocaust crap. I'm just talking about, they still eat them, all right? You got that whole area there. Germany, you got Luxembourg, you know, Austria. All right. So, wow, to still feel safer there than here. Wow. Wow. He says in interviews, he says, I don't have to think of myself as a black woman. Talking about the one up here. All right. In interviews with more than a dozen expatriate black Americans spread out across the globe from the Caribbean to West Africa, it became clear that for some, the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis has provided fresh evidence that living outside the USA can be an exercise in self-preservation. I've often stated that this American devil, this Edomite, his own fellow Edomite student, this is a special wicked class of Edomite here in America. All right, a special breed of wicked. All right, but for you that you want to get away, you think you're gonna once again outrun the curses? No. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 16. Oops. I don't know how it got to there. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 16. Well, let me start at the top, because this is what's supposed to have happened if we had just obeyed. It says, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Most High Yahweh thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Most High Yahweh thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. 2, and all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Most High Yahweh thy power. Let's skip down to 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Most High Yahweh thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I commanded this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And here we go. 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. No matter where you go on this planet, these curses are going to follow you. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. You want to attempt to establish a business, you're not going to prosper. Now make no mistake, you have a few of us that, get a business. Hell, during segregation, that was the whole point of that. A lot of our people, from the time of, let's just say, the end of the Civil War, up until the so-called Civil Rights Movement, Jake owned businesses. Didn't realize how better off they were until they were tricked, and them using Martin Luther King Jr., because you got to remember the 13th and 14th Amendments. All right, I don't have time to go into that now, but we were tricked into what? Integrating. And as such, look, curse shall be thy basket and thy store. Because that was the last little trick. Think about it. They did those things by force. Think of Tulsa, the Greenwood District in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Think of, it was a town in North Carolina. Oh, I can't remember it now. Rosewood. Place in, where was it? Even Harlem. All right. That was, but what was it? Is it Nebraska? Oh, what was the name of that place? I'm just trying to go off the top of my head. But I believe it was around 70 in all. And what happened to all of them? Sabotage. Outright murder. All right. Because in the, hey, I got to use it again. Remember the movie Scarface, Al Pacino? What did he say in that scene at the high-end restaurant? All right, with what's her name, Michelle Pfeiffer. He was getting on her, and he started looking at, Edomites are looking at him, and he said, you know what? He said, you need me to be the bad guy. And that's Jake's, purpose that he serves here. He's, in some ways, the glue that keeps this together. All right? You weren't meant to prosper. First of all, you weren't meant to prosper here in this place. This is our hell. All right? And as such, these people, these self-proclaimed white people, these Edomites, all right, were meant to be our tormentors. That's what they were set up to be. This is the new Egypt. All right? They serve the role that the ancient Hamites served. The Egyptians, Mizraim. All right? So let's go back to the article. All right? So it goes on to say, a 2019 study by the National Academy of Sciences found black men were around 2.5 times more likely than white men to be killed by police. A 2020 analysis of 100 million traffic stops conducted across the country determined that black people were far more likely to be pulled over by police than whites. All right. Black Americans face a higher risk of being arrested for petty crimes. They account for a third of the prison population, but just 13% of the overall population. Drayton, that was the woman showed earlier in Trinidad, is writing a book about fleeing from racism in America. She said one of the starkest illustrations of how her life has changed since moving to Trinidad in 2013 is how she feels comfortable driving her kids around the block to get them to sleep each night without being worried about what happens if she's pulled over by police. In America, your hands are shaking. You're worried about what to say. You're worried about whether you have the right ID. You're just so worried all the time, she said of the interactions her friends experience regularly with American police officers. How ironic. And as we were growing up, those of us of a certain age, you were told that it's other countries that this happened to people. All right? This place is through. It's done. All right? Let's get some other scriptures. This is because you have to consider, like I said, we're under the curses. All right? And our people just don't want to do right. This is Malachi. This is all we have to do. This is 2 and 2. And this is what the Most High did. It says, if ye will not hear, and if ye will not lay it to heart, to give glory unto my name, saith the Most High Yahweh, the Lord of hosts, I will even send a curse upon you, and I will curse your blessings. All right? Yea, I have cursed them already, because ye do not lay it to heart. 3, behold, I will corrupt your seed and spread dung upon your faces, even the dung of your solemn feast, and one shall take you away with it. All right? So there's a reason. That's what's been done to us. It's not like there's no reason. But he made a way for us what? To come back. And this is only Israel, and it's only going to be a remnant or an elect. All right? This is Psalms 81, verse 11. It says, but my people would not hearken to my voice, and Israel would none of me. So I gave them up unto their own heart's lust, and they walked in their own counsels. Oh, that my people had hearkened unto me, and Israel had walked in my ways. I should soon have subdued their enemies and turned my hand against their adversaries. Seems simple enough, right? Let's go to Joel 1 and 4. It says, that which the palmer worm hath left. Wait, let me go up a little bit. I'll start at 2. Joel chapter 1, verse 2. Hear this, ye old men, and give ear, all ye inhabitants of the land. Hath this been in your days, or even the days of your fathers? tell ye your children of it, and let your children tell their children and their children another generation. That which the palmer worm hath left hath the locust eaten, and that which the locust hath left hath the cankerworm eaten, Salaki. And that which the cankerworm hath left hath the caterpillar eaten. Alright? So all these things, this is scribing, alright, going back to the curse, alright, in Deuteronomy 28, 16, and 17. And let's get another one here. Let's see. These are all things that 18, curse shall be the fruit of thy body, and meaning the children, your progeny, and the fruit of thy land, and the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. All right? Those curses. All right? In fact, let me wrap it up with this one, because this is going to kind of sum it up. This is Judith 5, and I will start around, let's see. Now this is an Ammonite, present day Japanese, explaining to Holofernes, all right, who these people were, and really not to mess with them when they are in league with their power. I started All right, I'll start at 17. And whilst they sinned not before their power, they prospered, because the Most High Yahweh that hateth iniquity was with them. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles very sore, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs, and the temple of their God was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies. Here's the point. But now are they returned to their power, and are come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate. See? And he goes on to tell them, now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their power, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their power be for them, and we become a reproach before all the world. These Edomites know this. That's why there's pork and everything. All right? That's why there's a constant barrage from all the media outlets. I mean, TV, music, all it's directed at us to keep us going off, to keep us from coming, back to our power. That's why we're out here on the highways and byways trying to wake our people up, those that can be awakened. All right, and they know this. That's why now it's a rush to establish this new world order of theirs. All right, because they know their time is short. Revelation 12 and 12. All right, so that, for time's sake, dang, I went way over. But again, time grows short. Time grows short. Romans 13, all right, and 11, and I'll close with that. Romans 13, verse 11, it says, and that knowing the time, that now is it high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than what we believe. All right, so with that, I hope whoever views this is edified. All right, again, get this wisdom, all right, while the getting is good. All right, get it now, because things are speeding along. We don't know tomorrow, next week, literally. All right, these prophecies are jumping off pages here. All right, so with that, call halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh, Bahashem Krokodash, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to the Akim out there on the highways and byways pushing this truth, all honesty and sincerity, while trying to wake up the holy elect. So with that, Shalom, Akim.